It's Tuesday, December 16th. Today, Hanukkah celebrations impacted by deadly shooting. Winnipeg's Jewish community reacts to the Bondi Beach massacre and how police are increasing security measures. Grocery inflation. Which three food items are showing the biggest price spikes as Canadian shoppers prepare for this month's big holiday meal? And Santa Claus is back. The massive mall makeover is in full swing, but the jolly old elf himself still found space to make an appearance. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Tuesday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next 3 hours. Ainsley McPhail's with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet today, telling us about the holiday favorite, the Nutcracker. She's going to break it down for us, tell us who will be performing and what's new this year and what you can expect to see when you check it out for yourself. It certainly was an interesting drive-in. It was mild, but it was slippery this morning.
Interesting, yeah. So often temperatures will get the most slippery as we're getting closer to the freezing mark, which is certainly the case this morning. It's been warming up overnight. We're in for an interesting day. Let's take a look outside right now and see what those conditions are kicking off. So we're sitting at -5 right now. Winds, though, they're strong and they are polishing up those surfaces. So I'm not surprised that it was slippery out on the streets as those winds at the moment are gusting to 43 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 86%. Now, we don't have a lot of clouds right now. It's actually quite clear for this very moment, but it's not likely to stay that way. There's a few more clouds across parts of northern Manitoba, and they're off to the west. You can see some precipitation. Now, it does seem like it's kind of tapering off as it moves closer to, I'll move back again. There you can see it kind of like shows up and then it doesn't. But we've got two different models, and one of the models shows that we will very much be seeing that precipitation. The other does show that it kind of tapers off before it gets to us. But certainly through central Manitoba and parts of the north, you'll be dealing with some of that precipitation. This one shows that we'll certainly get walloped, but you see all of the different colors in there because these temperatures will continue to rise. A very mild day as far as the temps go, well above seasonal, but not for long. So we could be seeing those showers, but then changing to flurries because later on into the afternoon, temperatures take a nosedive, and that'll happen as the winds, which are strong right now and out of the south, will shift out of the north, driving those temperatures down, bringing in the colder air again. Then clears out somewhat into the overnight, early tomorrow morning, and another round of snow by tomorrow afternoon. And those temperatures will start to get a little bit cooler after today. Today will be that day of kind of the swings where we're rising and then falling, and then it gets a little bit cooler tomorrow, and then a lot cooler as we're looking through the rest of the week. But we will start to see a little more sunshine in the next couple of days.
Thank you, Terry. The Jewish community here in Winnipeg is finding a light after darkness this Hanukkah after a horrifying mass shooting during a candle lighting event in Australia's Bondi Beach. A warning: this story contains details that might be distressing. CTV's Harrison Shin has more.
Sunday was the first day of Hanukkah, and a grisly scene unfolded at Australia's Bondi Beach. Women, children, and men were gunned down in an anti-Semitic terror attack. As authorities investigate, emotions were high for Manitoba's Jewish community.
I felt anger. I felt they were taking our moment of joy.
For Elbaz, the attack felt personal and an assault on her faith.
I felt that we had to somehow get the light back, not to allow the darkness to seep in and take over.
What I've seen is people trying to find ways to get together to make it clear that we are here to increase the light and to spread the light.
Ma says here in Winnipeg, people are coming to synagogues and lighting candles to show that this attack won't dampen their spirits. Mayor Scott Gillingham says he has been in contact with Jewish community leaders and police, describing the Bondi Beach attack as an anti-Semitic terrorism act.
We have to continue as a community to foster and to pursue is that we have to continue to combat hate and any hate-based violence against any group, and we have to continue right now to fight against anti-Semitism in our community.
Winnipeg police say there is no specific connection between Winnipeg and the attack in Australia, but they are increasing their presence at community gatherings.
We want to make sure that the community is aware we're there. We want to make sure things are safe. We're there to deter, but we also want to be there to reassure the community.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
15 people were killed in the attack in Australia. Global Affairs says the department is not aware of any Canadian casualties. Winnipeg police are asking residents to report anything suspicious so they can investigate. Jewish communities across Canada are marking Hanukkah with a heavy heart.
I don't sleep all night. I just watch TV and come in sadness.
Members of the Jewish community are watching the news coming out of Australia with sadness. This as incidents of anti-Semitism are on the rise at home. Police across Canada have increased security at Jewish spaces and events. Hanukkah celebrations are moving ahead. Leaders say the idea is to counter the darkness with light. There are some concerning findings from a report on the safety of teachers in Quebec.
The statistics are alarming. The situation is terrible in our schools.
A survey from Quebec's Teachers Union asked members if they have experienced violence at work. 90% of those who responded said yes. Some teachers said they have been hit by students. Others say they have received threats from students and some parents. The Teachers Union is asking the province for an action plan to address the problem. In BC, floodwaters have gone down significantly in Abbotsford, allowing hundreds of people to go home. But officials say risks remain high.
Our crews are all out in the field so that we can quickly respond if things do arise.
BC's Emergency Management Minister calls the situation dynamic and evolving. Environment Canada is warning about another system expected to bring more rain to the Fraser Valley. Officials are also keeping an eye on the Seymour River in the North Shore, which is close to the top of its bank. As of this morning, there are about 20,000 BC Hydro customers without power. People are being reminded to stay away from downlines. The FBI released new video and announced a cash reward in the manhunt for the suspect in the Brown University shooting.
The FBI is now offering a reward of $50,000 for information that can lead to the identification, the arrest, and the conviction of the individual responsible.
The video shows an individual in dark clothes walking near the campus just 2 hours before 2 students were shot dead and 9 others injured on Saturday. The victims include 18-year-old Mohammed Aziz Umar Zokov, who was studying to become a neurosurgeon, and sophomore Ella Cook, who was the vice president of the Brown University College Republicans. The Manitoba government is looking at another larger than expected deficit. The mid-fiscal year update says the province is now predicting a deficit of $1.6 billion. That's more than double the $794 million shortfall originally forecast in the spring. The province is blaming the larger deficit on the $370 million wildfire response, along with steep losses at Manitoba Hydro, which relies on water levels for energy. Finance Minister Adrian Salas says the government still intends to balance the budget before the next election without cutting services.
We're executing on our plan. If you were to remove those costs this year, we would be at more or less right at our deficit target. So this is not a time to cut programs or to look at making significant changes that might further risk a slowdown in the economy. We want to make sure that we're continuing to move forward. Again, if we take those one-time costs out, we're essentially hitting at target this year.
Sala added the government would be close to its original deficit projection had it not been for the wildfires and drought. The fiscal update shows more government departments are on or close to their budgets. Portage Place may be undergoing a major redevelopment, but the magic of Christmas remains untouched. That's a cutie. That's because Santa Claus is back. Ongoing work at the downtown mall couldn't stop the big guy from popping in for a visit. He says he wanted to celebrate the $650 million redevelopment and bring a sense of community back into the space.
I want to see as many children as possible. Children of all ages, of course. Yes, sir. Bring them down, get their picture taken with Santa, have a nice memento of this 2025 Christmas season.
Santa spent 27 years at the mall before taking a break last year after True North purchased Portage Place, but he's sticking around for the next week. Photos are free for anyone who brings non-perishable food or new warm winter clothing donations. Santa's hours are up on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Here's a look at what's happening in traffic now along Portage Avenue. Just a heads up, it is a little bit slick out there and it is pretty windy, so making it even more slippery out on the streets, especially in streets on the outside of Winnipeg. If you see any problems out on the streets, please let us know. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. We're talking about the Nutcracker. It's that time of year. Good morning.
Good morning, Rochelle. Doesn't it just make you feel like it? And they've let me into one of their studio spaces this time. Such a cool facility. We're chatting Nutcracker all morning long, and it's something that gets us into that holiday spirit. Not only is it iconic, but it's got a Canadian and a local flair. So throughout the morning, we're going to be learning about how the recreational division and the professional division have combined all of their immaculate skills into one beautiful performance with Tchaikovsky's score. We're also going to be learning about some of the walk-on roles, including Dancing Gabe, who everybody knows and loves, and a live performance from Rusalka. Oh man, I absolutely love Rusalka. There's an Indigenous group too, and an East Indian group. So what a beautiful combination.
That's what I love about the Nutcracker. It includes so many different people and so many different genres of dance as well. Thank you, Ainsley. We'll check in a little later. Let's go out to the rooftop. Oh, yeah, that wind is not fun today.
Certainly, you're going to notice it, and it's going to get less fun as the day goes on, because while this morning's you're going to notice it, at least it's coming out of the southwest, whereas this afternoon that's going to become a northwest wind, and that's going to really take those temperatures back down into the deep freeze again. Maybe not into the deep freeze, but back below the freezing mark, because we're headed above the freezing mark today. We're not there yet, but we're on our way. We're sitting now at -4. That's up a degree again from last hour. And the conditions out here are fairly clear. Not much in the way of clouds, but that too will change. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 86%. And those winds right now, yes, 29 clicks out of the south-southwest. But later this morning, it'll be about midday and into the afternoon. And that's when we can expect those southwest winds to shift out of the northwest. And that's when those temperatures will start to fall. Prior to that, we'll still watch them rise, and we'll likely crack the freezing mark, headed up into the plus digits. With precipitation on the way, we could see that then in shower form, but only to begin, because once those winds start to shift and take those temperatures down, whatever is in liquid form will then change back to snow. Now, surfaces, that's where things are going to be really dicey. I was saying earlier that it's always the slickest when you're just below the freezing mark, but with the possibility of some showers then changing back into snow, things are likely to be a little bit icy, and the winds polishing up those surfaces even more so. Those winds today, they could be gusting to 70 kilometers per hour this afternoon. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with more Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
Give a child a winter coat. You give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
Good morning. The news on food prices is only getting grimmer. Statistics Canada says the cost of groceries was more than double the inflation rate last month, year over year. Fruit, beef, and coffee are the main culprits. CTV's Jeff Keel explains why you might get a deal on your holiday meal's main course.
As grocery shoppers stock up for the holidays, they continue to deal with rising prices.
It's very hard to get by with the prices that are rising right now. We have to mix match what we can grab one month and what we can the other month.
The cost of food is extremely high. Like, everything's up.
Statistics Canada says grocery food inflation rose in November year over year by 4.7%, greatly outpacing the consumer inflation rate, which was 2.2%.
There are a few places at the grocery store that are safe places to go if you're on a tight budget, unfortunately.
Stats Can says fresh fruit, beef, and coffee were top contributors, in part because of shortages and bad weather.
Meat prices are staying high and not coming down at all.
So what does this mean for that holiday meal in December? Sylvain Charlebois, the director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University, says the cost of ham, fruit, and veggies are on the rise, but there could be some good news with the main dish. He says some grocers are cutting the price of their turkeys to attract shoppers.
Turkeys have been used as loss leaders, really, to get you in there and buy other things that are a little bit more expensive, like cranberries, for example, potatoes, and other things you would need.
But Charlebois says as we head towards Christmas, deals on birds could be drying up. At Cantor's Meats, owner Ed Cantor says the ham price is stable this year, but The turkey is a bit more.
75 cents more a pound compared to last year.
Over the last couple of years, the higher prices have seen more people do potluck dinners to spread out the cost. The hosts we talked to say they're going to tough it out.
We're just going to try to do it ourselves this year.
You know, this happens once a year. Family comes in from out of the city. So, you know, we just try to have fun for the holidays.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
And a warning if you like fruitcake, Charlebois says most of them have been shrinkflated. The board chair of Manitoba Hydro has resigned 2 years after taking the job. Ben Graham was appointed as part of an overhaul of the board of directors undertaken by the NDP government shortly after it won the October 2023 election. Hydro says Graham led the utility through a number of changes, including plans for rehabilitating aging infrastructure and advancing reconciliation. There's no word on who might replace him. Manitoba Justice says a 29-year-old man died in custody at Headingley Correctional Centre Saturday. The province isn't releasing any more details, citing privacy reasons. It adds the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has been alerted about the death. The Liberals need just one more floor crossing to secure a majority government, and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is calling it undemocratic.
I'm very troubled that they made that decision, but the people in their ridings voted for the Conservative agenda that I'm continually leading on in the House of Commons.
The latest to cross the floor was Markham Unionville MP Michael Ma. A small but vocal protest was later set up outside his constituency office demanding answers. Sources tell CTV News the Energy Minister helped recruit Ma, and Tim Hodgson says he is getting, quote, a lot of other inquiries as well. Conservative Alberta MP Matt Genereux met with Prime Minister Mark Carney in November before deciding to quit politics. That was just days after Nova Scotia MP Chris D'Entremont crossed the floor in November. If another Conservative does cross the floor, Poilievre says he will remain at the helm of the party for his leadership review in January. The FBI has arrested 4 alleged members of an extremist group who were planning a series of bombing attacks on New Year's Eve across Southern California.
The plan stated that the IEDs would be complex pipe bombs. It included instructions on how to manufacture the bombs and contained guidance on how to avoid leaving evidence behind that could be traced back to them.
The suspects are allegedly members of a radical faction of a far-left group called the Turtle Island Liberation Front. Court documents show the 4 individuals were arrested last week east of LA, where they were allegedly preparing to test improvised explosive devices. The federal government is promising $7.5 million for upgrades to a community center in South Winnipeg. The money is earmarked for a new arena and expanded rec facility at Dakota Community Center in St. Vital. The feds say it includes new dressing rooms, a new rink, expanded child care facilities, a fitness area, and ice plant. The community center's president says the project is still years away from completion. It's also hoping to secure more funding to reach the roughly $50 million needed. Christmas came a little early for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and for a cornerstone of the team's offense. Running back Brady Oliveira has signed a 3-year contract extension with his hometown club, meaning he'll remain a Bomber through the 2028 CFL season. The CFL's most outstanding player in 2024 was scheduled to become a free agent in February. Oliveira has run for nearly 5,500 yards in his career, good for 6th in franchise history. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, the northbound and southbound median lanes on Maryland Bridge will be closed between Cornish and Wellington Crescent. On Kennedy Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed from Cumberland to Capel, and the southbound median lane and curb lane on Carleton will be closed between Portage and St. Mary Avenue. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
Looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. That camera shaking out there. The winds are going to remain on the stronger side today. They're going to be polishing up those surfaces, but also kicking around the precipitation, which will likely eventually make its way toward us. For the time being, things are quite clear and quite mild as these temperatures were rising into the overnight hours. And there's places through southwestern Manitoba that are in the plus digits already this morning. Look at this, 4 degrees right now in Brandon, 6 at the moment in Dauphin and in Portage-la Prairie, 7 in the Morden-Winkler area. Now we're at -3, -6 right now in Gimli, but still well above seasonal. Normal lows this time of year would be -20. Normal daytime highs -10. This is going to be an above seasonal day, but not necessarily throughout the entire day. Things will change. Taking a look into parts of northern Manitoba. Why isn't this moving? Here we go. Okay, and moving into northern Manitoba, there you can see low -20s in the most northern stretch, or high -teens. It is a little bit cooler, considerably so I should say, across much of northern Manitoba. Oh, this thing is going to be giving me trouble today. Here we go. Okay, taking a look at the wind chill values, low -30s expected across northern Manitoba. Here in Winnipeg, it's still feeling like -10. I know we're sitting just a few degrees below the freezing mark, but I did still wear my big parka today because these winds are going to remain on the stronger side. Listen, I would love to show you the next frame, but my clicker is giving me problems today. Here we go. Satellite image right now, and you can see it's clear with that precipitation off to the west, and that's going to be coming in. We might see it starting out as showers and then changing to flurries as the day goes on. I'll get a new clicker. Do you know what? I have another one back here somewhere. Anyway, I'll find it later. Oh, here it is. Hang on, hang tight, folks. All right, here we go. Through the day today, +2, 3 degrees, and then down to -3 because this afternoon those winds are going to pick up. They're going to kick around all of that snow. Yes, my clicker is working now. So showers changing to flurries, winds driving those temperatures down. Then it will remain a little bit cooler. You can see moments of sunshine through the rest of the week, but those temperatures will be dropping off. Whew. Okay, that was a stressful one this morning. Here's a look out at Kildonan Park. A moment of serenity with that fresh snow. It looks nice, doesn't it? Thanks to Leon for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca, and we'll be back right after this break.
Good morning. If you're looking to spruce up your house, Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Renovation Show runs January 16th to the 18th at the RBC Convention Centre, and we have a few prizes to give away. One grand prize winner will walk away with a $1,000 gift card, 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating, and a meet and greet with Mike Holmes Jr. There's also 3 prizes of $500 gift cards with tickets to be won. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the key word, home. Good luck. 3 children have died from flu-related complications in the Ottawa area this month, as officials warn of a rapid and significant spike in cases. CTV's Abigail Beeman reports.
3 children between the ages of 5 and 9 killed by influenza A complications.
This is an unusual situation where the coroner advised us of 3 influenza A-related deaths that happened recently.
2 Ottawa area health units speaking out, sending the message there's still time to get vaccinated.
The strain this year is a more dangerous strain.
Officials say the cases are still with the coroner, and they don't yet know if the children had underlying medical conditions or if they got flu shots.
What we're seeing with kids this year is not unheard of, but we don't see it every year. Unfortunately, this year we're seeing a rise in pediatric cases of influenza.
Ottawa's Children's Hospital saw 300 positive flu tests between December 1st and 10th. During the same period last year, there were just 11. Flu rates are up across the country. The latest data available up to December 6th puts national positivity rates at 20.2%, highest in the Prairies and Ontario, while Ottawa's are at 36.5%.
Unfortunately, still have some highway miles ahead of us during this respiratory virus season.
Dr. Isaac Bogosh says the flu kills between 25 and 3,500 Canadians each year.
It's probably going to peak sometime around the holidays, but even after it peaks, remember, it's a long road down the other side of the mountain as well.
Renelle Chalifu and her 3 adult children get their flu shot together every year.
Not only for myself and my family, friends, but socially as well, to protect everyone.
Experts again stressing it's not too late to get vaccinated, especially ahead of the busy social holiday season with parties and gatherings and people mingling from different places, reminding you to follow the basic hygiene rules, cough and sneeze into your sleeve, and consider wiping down high-touch areas like doorknobs.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
outside at that camera shaking. Those winds are strong this morning. It's -4. The temperature's mild and well above seasonal, but those winds out of the south-southwest, 29 kilometers per hour, making it feel more like -11, although even that still above what you'd expect. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 86%. But yeah, those winds, they are going to be nasty today, and they're starting out of the southwest, but that will change as they shift out of the northwest. Everything is about to take a little bit of a turn this afternoon. Right now, it's fairly clear. There's some precipitation off to the west. We'll keep our eye on that as it moves in. There is the possibility that we see it beginning in shower form. 4 degrees is where we're headed today, plus digits, yes. So well above seasonal. But then as these winds shift, they're out of the southwest right now. They're strong out of the southwest. They're going to get stronger as they shift out of the northwest. Up to 70 kilometer per hour winds expected. So we won't stay at +4. We'll get into those plus digits. And then this afternoon, those temperatures really taking a bit of a nosedive, ending up at about -8 by around supper time or so. And then dropping further overnight to -15 as those winds continue out of the northwest, but they'll start to ease somewhat from the 70K wind gusts down to about 50K wind gusts or 40K wind gusts for tomorrow. Those winds easing further yet. -4 tomorrow will be a little more pleasant. There will perhaps be a little more snow expected, but more of a beautiful wintry day with above seasonal temperatures. We're not going to stay above seasonal though, because we've got these temperatures that'll slide again as the sky clears and the sunshine returns. Few more degrees will be dropped off a little bit. We'll see a little more of that sunshine for the weekend after another round of precipitation on Friday.
The city still doesn't know exactly how a crew managed to break a water main on Main Street Friday. What is known is the incident caused a tremendous headache for a lot of people. Vehicles were trapped in the rising water and businesses in the area were impacted. CTV's John Hendricks shows us the aftermath.
The toughest part of the commute on Main Street Friday wasn't traffic blocking the road. It was the torrent of water rushing down it from a water main break.
It's a feeder main, so that feeder main is a very wide pipe, so the water filled up the road really fast.
Oh my God, look at that truck. It's stuck in the water.
Jacqueline Stortz and many others on the road drove right through the rapidly rising water, but her aunt's van didn't make it to the other side.
Just go, no, we're stuck! My auntie's vehicle ended up dying in the water. So we're basically stuck. We couldn't go anywhere.
They were rescued after calling 911. And while sitting in the ambulance, they met another person whose vehicle was also disabled by the water.
He said that his vehicle started filling up with water and he had to jump out of his car.
After an hour and a half, city crews closed Main Street in both directions, and that put a big dent in business at the Kildonan, which is on Main.
Friday afternoon is the busiest day of the week, and evening is the busiest time of the day. So, we have to shut it down. There's no sales. We're almost whole night is a dead night for us.
Councillor Eady says he knows the city's response to the water main break is being criticized. However, he says crews worked hard to fix the problem as fast as they could.
It does take a while to close off all the streets because you have all this traffic and barricades have to be put up, and you have to let what traffic's sort of in there to try to get out.
John Hendricks, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A spokesperson tells CTV News the city is still investigating the incident, and they say the owner of the Kildonan can contact 311 to file claim for the lost business, and it will be investigated. Stellantis says it has hired more than 1,000 people for the planned third shift at its Windsor assembly plant. Aside from the new hires, about 250 workers are transferring from the Stellantis plant in Brampton. The company is planning to hire 1,500 people for the third Windsor shift, which is expected to come online early next year. The shift is being added to meet demand for models of the Dodge Charger and Chrysler minivans. We're learning more now about the suspects and a possible motive behind the mass shooting at a Hanukkah celebration at Australia's Bondi Beach.
The vehicle, which is registered to the younger male, contained IEDs, but I also confirmed that it contained 2 homemade ISIS flags.
Police say early indications point to a terrorist attack inspired by Islamic State ideology, but say it's important that they continue their investigation. Officers are also looking into a recent trip the father and son suspects accused of carrying out the attack took to the Philippines. The father died at the scene, and the son is in hospital where he has been in a coma. This morning, there are reports that he is now out of that coma. Police say the suspect will face significant criminal charges over the massacre that killed 15 people.
Matilda's mother called me and say Matilda died, and I couldn't even repeat with what at the time. I say what? I asked him many times. I was thinking it's bad reception. I don't hear something well, and after what I started screaming, I just started screaming. I couldn't understand.
One of those 15 victims was 10-year-old Matilda. Her grandparents and aunt visited the memorial near the site of the shooting to mourn and pay their respects. Matilda was the youngest person killed on Sunday. One of her teachers has launched a GoFundMe and described Matilda in a social media post as a gentle girl who saw beauty in everyone. And we're learning about more of the victims. The family of Boris and Sophia Gurman confirming the couple's death, while Edith Rutman was commemorated during a memorial. Researchers say young Canadians are the unhappiest generation. Life benchmarks are happening later for Canada's young people, from families to finances, and their happiness levels have been plummeting. The World Happiness Report says Canadians under 30 used to be the happiest age group in the country as recently as 2011. The 2024 edition of the decades-long study published by the Wellbeing Research Centre at the Oxford University looked at 134 countries. Only 4 saw a worse decline in those under 30 than Canada: Jordan, Venezuela, Lebanon, and Afghanistan. The founding editor of the World Happiness Report says social and economic conditions are not seen by today's young as promising, unlike previous generations. Young people across Canada interviewed by the Canadian Press describe being bogged down by an unaffordable housing market, struggles to save for the future, online gloom, and a growing mental health crisis. Here's what's happening right now on Osborne Street. It looks like things are moving well over here to start off this Tuesday morning. The streets are slippery, though, so be careful out there. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.25. The provincial average is way lower at $1.12. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.10, and the lowest price in the city is $1.04. All this information is on GuestBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
We're talking about the Nutcracker with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet. Stay with us for more.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
All right, so I actually really struggled with what to wear today as far as outerwear goes because of the conditions that we're expecting today. I'm wondering if I'm going to be overdressed, but I think I'm still glad about the choice that I made. And that's because I feel like I needed to dress for the worst case scenario, which will require a bigger parka because the temperatures, as mild as they might seem right now, aren't going to stay there. So if you're leaving the house in the morning and not coming home till later on today, just know that later on today you're going to be cold if you don't dress properly. -4 is where we're sitting right now, a 29K wind out of the south-southwest, the pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 89%. And the thing is, you can always, unzip the jacket or even take it off. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking for my walk home, if I need to unzip a little bit, at least I will be prepared because these winds are going to stay very strong. They're out of the southwest this morning, but then later on today, they'll be shifting out of the northwest. And that's going to bring the biggest change up as far as temperatures go. There's also a system of precipitation coming in. So while it might start as showers as these temperatures rise above the freezing mark, they'll likely change to flurries and be coming at you sideways as those strong northwest winds take those temperatures back below freezing and down to about -8 this afternoon. All right, let's check in with Ainsley now, see what's going on, take our minds off the weather. Hey, Ainsley, what's happening out there?
Well, it is somewhat of a winter wonderland. We're talking about the RWB's Nutcracker. Stefan Leonard joins me now, who's the director of the school. What an exciting time. Do you guys feel the buzz in the air here at RWB?
Oh, it's an everyday event at the RWB. Right now, especially preparing for Nutcracker is a holiday treat for us all.
Mm-hmm. Well, preparing every day. Haven't you guys been doing that since the summer too?
Well, in my book, I don't really want to get into Nutcracker before November, but yeah, we've been preparing for a while.
Why do you think that this iconic piece has remained so iconic, but become such a favorite here in Manitoba?
Well, I think like our production is custom made for Winnipeggers and Canadians, so just that alone, like, you know, makes it really special for us at the RWB, but for the audience here too.
When it comes to what the school's putting on, tell us about that collaboration and some of the prep that goes into that.
Well, the RWB is a huge family, right? We do have the company, we have the professional and the recreational division. So inviting everybody in for the holiday season, it's a family event, is something really special. So I think including like everyone under the roof of the RWB is remarkable and really a beautiful thing for the holiday season.
As a consumer, it's one of my absolute favorites. Why do you think people keep coming back?
Well, again, it's a family tradition. This production has been running for over 20 years now. I think a lot of Winnipeggers and like people around the world like look at Nutcracker as something like your advent calendar. You open a little box and you must do those events before the holiday season.
So you have to. That's what he's saying. You have to get tickets now, okay? Get your tickets. We're going to head to break.
Looking at the early markets, stocks are down across the board. The Dow Jones fell 49. The Nasdaq lost 75 points. The S&P index is down slightly. The Canadian dollar is down slightly as well. The Hang Seng is down 393 points, and the Nikkei lost 784 points. Good morning. It is 6:47. A pair of tech companies is eyeing a plot of land just south of Winnipeg for a new data center. Jet AI and Consensus Core say they've secured purchase agreements for 350 acres directly north of Ile-des-Chênes, roughly 9 kilometers south of Winnipeg. The companies describe the area as a Goldilocks site for a data center, given the close proximity to hydropower and natural gas lines. Data centers are typically large facilities which house vast networks of servers needed for computing and networking infrastructure. A spokesperson for Consensus Core says the project is still in the preliminary stage and will depend on rezoning approvals. While there isn't a final decision plan yet, the building itself wouldn't take up the full 350 acres. The RM of Richat said it would be premature to comment as nothing has formally been presented to council. The Manitoba government is looking at another larger than expected deficit. The mid-fiscal year update says the province is now predicting a deficit of $1.6 billion. That's more than double the $794 million shortfall originally forecast in the spring. The province is blaming the larger deficit on the $370 million wildfire response, along with steep losses at Manitoba Hydro, which relies on water levels for energy. Finance Minister Adrian Salas says the government still intends to balance the budget before the next election without cutting services.
We're executing on our plan. If you were to remove those costs this year, we would be at more or less right at our deficit target. So this is not a time to cut programs or to look at making significant changes that might further risk a slowdown in the economy. We want to make sure that we're continuing to move forward. Again, if we take those one-time costs out, we're essentially hitting at target this year.
Sala added the government would be close to its original deficit projection had it not been for the wildfires and drought. The fiscal update shows most government departments are on or close to their budgets. The FBI has now released a video and is offering a reward as the search for a suspect in the Brown University shooting enters its 4th day.
The FBI is now offering a reward of $50,000 for information that can lead to the identification, the arrest, and the conviction of the individual responsible.
The video shows someone in dark clothing walking near the campus just 2 hours before 2 students were shot dead. 9 others were injured. The victims include 18-year-old Mohammed Azid Umersakov, who was studying to become a neurosurgeon, and sophomore Ella Cook, who was the vice president of the Brown University College Republicans. The Ottawa Senators were in town Monday night taking on the Winnipeg Jets. A 2-2 stalemate pushed the game into overtime. The Senators spent the entire 2 minutes of their power play in the offensive zone, but could only get 2 shots against Connor Hellebuck. One of those shots from Senators captain Brady Tkachuk made it into the net, winning the match for Ottawa 3-2. On Wednesday, the Jets hit the road for a 7 p.m. game against the St. Louis Blues. Some road closures to remind you about this morning following the rush. The northbound and southbound median lanes on Maryland Bridge will be closed between Cornish and Wellington Crescent. On Kennedy Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed from Cumberland to Quappel, and the southbound median and curb lane on Carlton will be closed between Portage and St. Mary Avenue. If you have any other traffic tips, please share them with us by texting us.
-4 outside, but it feels like -11 if you're factoring in those winds out of the south-southwest, 29 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 86%, and yes, the cameras will be shaken all day long. Those winds remaining strong, shifting from the southwest out of the northwest. I was going to move the other way, show you how clear it is, but what we really need to see is where the precipitation is, and that's off to the west of us. Some flurries, some showers. It's very mild. These temperatures, they're already in the plus digits all through this southwestern part of the province. Northern Manitoba is a little bit cooler. You're also going to deal with some heavier clouds today. It's clearest here across southern Manitoba, but for northern Manitoba, not just the clouds. You'll likely deal with a bit of precipitation as well, and mid to high teens, although for some in that more central part of the province, it will be an above seasonal day, getting up into those high single digits or mid single digits for some. Further into the north, yes, a little bit colder yet, around -20 in Lynn Lake. You'll enjoy some more sunshine, and maybe even in Flin Flon as well, but then you'll encounter the clouds and the precipitation that'll move through central and parts of southern Manitoba. That is the icon indicating the strong winds, although most of us should probably have that in place. We'll all deal with these strong winds today, but plus digits expected all across southern Manitoba. It just might be a momentary thing. We'll get up above the freezing mark about midday, and then into the afternoon, that's when the winds will be shifting, and as they shift out of the north, temperatures will start to fall again all across southern Manitoba, back below the freezing mark, and anything that might melt a little bit will become very icy once again, especially with those strong winds polishing up the surfaces. So traffic or just getting around, commuting, whether you're a pedestrian or a motorist, might be a little bit dicey, as things will probably get somewhat icky out there on the streets. Temperatures after today will be cooling down. It's just a one-day warm-up when we push above freezing.
Thank you, Terry. For many, the holiday season comes with familiar traditions, from baking cookies to watching favorite Christmas movies. At a retirement residence in Perth, it also comes with a special festive display, a growing miniature village spreading joy to residents and visitors throughout the holidays. CTV's Dave Charbonneau has more.
It's become a Christmas tradition at this retirement residence in Perth, one that has grown piece by miniature piece since it started 6 years ago.
I do it in order to try to entice the grandkids and the great-grandkids to come in and see their grandparents at Christmas. My favorite is the bumper cars here.
Every Christmas season, co-owner Whit Lewandowski builds miniature animated Christmas displays for residents and visitors.
A lot of the times the residents will help take the items out of the box. They'll help, once I get a lot of the electronics set up and everything, they'll help place the figurines in places they think works best.
The displays help create a sense of home and connection during the holidays.
This is our home now, and a lot of us can't have great big trees and great big families around all of the time. And Lanark Lifestyles is a place where we can all gather, and it's just like home.
And for many, the details bring back memories from long ago.
I like the merry-go-round. It reminds me of when I was, little kid. Yeah, but they're all very nice.
I always liked the skating rink. I used to love to skate, so that brings back good memories.
The displays also now creating new memories.
It's amazing. It's just amazing, and it's so attractive for residents and visitors, and especially young children.
A lot of the grandkids will come and play with it, and I don't have signs on it, do not touch or anything else. If something breaks, we have glue.
A collection of tiny details built on kindness and the spirit of the season. A reminder that even the little things can spread so much joy. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
A Vancouver Island boy with cerebral palsy is one step closer to getting around on his own 2 legs. It's expensive tech, but thanks to an outpouring of support, the 8-year-old will soon have a pair of robotic legs. CTV's Brendan Strain reports.
I was crying. I literally just started bursting.
Genevieve Perron is reflecting on the emotions she felt last week when she realized that the fundraising effort she started for her 8-year-old son Elliot, who suffers from cerebral palsy, had reached its goal.
I'm unbelievably grateful.
Want to go faster? Okay.
Young Elliot uses a wheelchair to get around. In late September, he was given the opportunity to test out Trexo Robotics' smart robotic legs, giving him a chance to walk on his own. It was an experience that she says transformed her young son.
Started, dancing a little bit with me, holding hands, and it was just magical.
The legs cost roughly $40,000, financially out of reach for the family. So Genevieve turned to the community, starting that fundraising effort, and she was overwhelmed by the support.
The money came from Elliot's friends at school and their parents by doing bake sales.
The public pitched in, and last week, her co-workers at BCG Engineering got Perron over the line at the company's annual AGM.
It is a totally global, game-changing device that really adds layers upon layers of benefit to these kids.
Trexo Robotics has children with cerebral palsy that have access to the device build better bone density. As well, their core strength is improved with being in an upright position while getting the added benefit of exercise, something that often escapes those requiring a wheelchair.
The Trexo system needs a support frame, so a walk-in frame.
Costing roughly $10,000, which is mostly covered under the province's at-home program. Now the family is waiting for that provincial funding to come through, which Elliot's mother says can be cumbersome, often taking up to 12 months for approval.
But we got to the goal and over the goal.
With the fundraising goal exceeding all expectations, Perron is now looking to use that extra money to expose Elliot to another new experience.
It's a bike that is electric and has a platform in the front to wheel in a wheelchair,
allowing Elliot and his mother to go on bike rides together, something that Genevieve never imagined could become a reality. Brendan Strain, CTV News, Saanich.
It's Tuesday, December 16th. Today, staying strong, how the Jewish community is feeling after the Bondi Beach massacre. Plus, a major investment, how new funding will help with upgrades to the Dakota Community Center. And a festive visitor who has made the return to Portage Place Mall. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning. It is Tuesday morning. Hello, Manitoba. Thank you so much for tuning in to Your Morning Winnipeg. We have a lot in the next hour for you. At 7:52, we have research and a resource coming out of the University of Brandon where they talk about gender-based violence as well as sexual violence and how for people living in northern communities, remote communities, might not necessarily know which resources are available for them, especially if they're in a crisis situation. So we're going to find out a little bit more about some of the research that they found and the resources that are available right now that you can access anywhere. So we're gonna have that, but the weather, it's a
talker today.
Yeah, it's weird.
It is weird. You're right about that because it's so mild out there.
Yeah.
You're like, how could this actually take a turn for the worse? It does still look like it's going to, and the winds will be the worst culprit of it all. Right now, those winds are out of the south, and they're bringing the more favorable, warmer temperatures, but they're also going to be bringing in some precipitation, and then everything is about to change as those winds will be shifting. So we're starting out right now at -4, well above normal, with a 29K wind gusting out of the south-southwest. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 86%. And those winds really polishing up those surfaces as well. So things will be a little bit slick today. Keep that in mind. Also, as these temperatures are just below the freezing mark right now, that's often when things tend to be the most slick anyway. So you couple those non-ideal temperatures with where they're sitting right now on top of the winds, and it could be a little bit dicey now. Otherwise, it's clear, at least to begin. We've got some heavier clouds across northern Manitoba, but things will change here in the south. You'll see on the Futurecast what I'm talking about. So central and northern Manitoba with the heavier clouds and some precipitation, and there will be more moving in for us. All of the different colors, because it'll be so mild, it could start as showers and then change to flurries. The winds that are out of the south right now will be shifting out of the north, driving those temperatures down. and as it cools, showers changing to flurries. Then it clears out into the evening overnight, so tomorrow morning waking up to sunshine, but another round of precipitation, and this one is going to bring some straight up snow across southern Manitoba, and that'll be carrying us into, into Wednesday evening for sure. By Thursday, we might be starting to see a little bit more sunshine again, but the temperatures dropping off. And speaking of dropping off, our temperatures today will be doing that as well. While we'll get up above the freezing mark, we'll end up at about -8 this afternoon. A little more pleasant tomorrow, but then it will be cooling down as we look through the rest of the week. And our art today is Rudolph, famous. Thank you, Adeline. A great drawing that or painting that you've done for us here. I love this. Keep the art coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
The Jewish community here in Winnipeg is finding light after darkness this Hanukkah after a horrifying mass shooting during a candle lighting event in Australia's Bondi Beach. A warning, the story contains details that might be distressing. CTV's Harrison Shin has more.
Sunday was the first day of Hanukkah and a grisly scene unfolded at Australia's Bondi Beach. Women, children, and men were gunned down in an anti-Semitic terror attack. As authorities investigate, emotions were high for Manitoba's Jewish community.
I felt anger. I felt they were taking our moment of joy.
For Elbaz, the attack felt personal and an assault on her faith.
I felt that we had to somehow get the light back, not to allow the darkness to seep in and take over.
What I've seen is people trying to find ways to get together to make it clear that we are here to increase the light and to spread the light.
Ma says here in Winnipeg, people are coming to synagogues and lighting candles to show that this attack won't dampen their spirits. Mayor Scott Gillingham says he has been in contact with Jewish community leaders and police, describing the Bondi Beach attack as an anti-Semitic terrorism act.
We have to continue as a community to foster and to pursue is that we have to continue to combat hate and any hate-based violence against any group, and we have to continue right now to fight against anti-Semitism in our community.
Winnipeg police say there is no specific connection between Winnipeg and the attack in Australia, but they are increasing their presence at community gatherings.
We want to make sure that the community is aware we're there. We want to make sure things are safe. We're there to deter, but we also want to be there to reassure the community.
Harrison Shin, CTV News, Winnipeg.
15 people were killed in the attack in Australia. Global Affairs says the department is not aware of any Canadian casualties. Winnipeg police are asking residents to report anything suspicious so they can investigate. The board chair at Manitoba Hydro has resigned 2 years after taking the job. Ben Graham was appointed as part of an overhaul of the board of directors undertaken by the NDP government shortly after it won the October 2023 election. Hydro says Graham led the utility through a number of changes, including plans for rehabilitating aging infrastructure and advancing reconciliation. There's no word on who might replace him. The federal government is promising $7.5 million for upgrades to a community center in South Winnipeg. The money is earmarked for a new arena and expanded rec facility at Dakota Community Center in St. Vital. The feds say it includes new dressing rooms, a new rink, expanded child care facilities, a fitness area, and ice plant. The community center's president says the project is still years away from completion. It's also hoping to secure more funding to reach the roughly $50 million needed. The Liberals need just one more floor crossing to secure a majority government, and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is calling it undemocratic.
I'm very troubled that they made that decision, but the people in their ridings voted for the Conservative agenda that I'm continually leading on in the House of Commons.
The latest across the floor was Markham Unionville MP Michael Ma. A small but vocal protest was later set up outside his constituency office demanding answers. Sources tell CTV News the Energy Minister helped recruit Ma, and Tim Hodgson says he's getting, quote, a lot of other inquiries as well. Conservative Alberta MP Matt Genereux met with Prime Minister Carney in November before deciding to quit politics. That was just days after Nova Scotia MP Chris d'Entremont crossed the floor in November. If another Conservative does cross the floor, Poilievre says he will remain at the helm of the party for his leadership review in January. Portage Place may be undergoing a major redevelopment, but the magic of Christmas remains untouched.
Yeah.
That's because Santa Claus is back. Ongoing work at the downtown mall couldn't stop the big guy from popping in for a visit. He says he wanted to celebrate the $650 million redevelopment and bring a sense of community back into the space.
I want to see as many children as possible. Children of all ages, of course. Yes, sir. Bring them down, get their picture taken with Santa, have a nice memento of this 2025 Christmas season.
Santa spent 27 years at the mall before taking a break last year after True North purchased Portage Place. But he's sticking around for the next week. Photos are free for anyone who brings non-perishable food or new warm winter clothing donations. Santa's hours are up on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. Christmas came a little early for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers and for a cornerstone of the team's offense. Running back Brady Oliveira has signed a 3-year contract extension with his hometown club, meaning he'll remain a Bomber through the 2028 CFL season. The CFL's most outstanding player in 2024 was scheduled to become a free agent in February. Oliveira has run for nearly 5,500 yards in his career, good for 6th in franchise history. Here's what's happening right now in Kenaston and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like things are moving well to start off here. A little bit slippery in some parts of the city, so be mindful of that. If you see any issues, text them to us, please, at 10400.
The Canadian government has approved Anglo American's acquisition of Teck Resources, helping to clear the way for the creation of a $50 billion metals giant focused on copper mines in Chile and Peru. Anglo and Teck agreed to strengthen earlier promises about the new headquarters, which will be in Vancouver. Industry Minister Melanie Joly says the deal would secure 4,000 jobs in the country, equal to Teck's current employment. Stellantis says it has hired 1,000 new employees in the past month in Windsor, Ontario, where it's adding a 3rd shift at its assembly plant. Plus, an additional 240 employees from its Brampton, Ontario plant have transferred there. Typically, such a hiring spree and 3rd shift would signal boom times and might even be celebrated, but Stellantis, of course, embroiled in a dispute with the federal government about its decision to indefinitely pause renovating its assembly plant in Brampton, and that decision has left thousands of workers worried about their future and raised concerns about how the United States tariffs are impacting jobs in the Canadian auto sector. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Royal Winnipeg Ballet this morning. It's the season for the Nutcracker. Good morning.
Good morning, Michelle, and we're going to get a live rehearsal this morning from the recreational division and the professional division. This here is simply a prop because I thought I was going to pull some moves on you guys, and instead I realized I should be stretching. It's just holding me up right now. My goodness. Talking about Sugar Plum Fairies and Angels and Tchaikovsky's score and how iconic this production really is, having Winnipeggers coming out each and every year. And whether you're there for Rusalka, there's a plug because we're getting a live performance from them as well, or some of the walk-on roles. You can get an appearance from Dancing Gabe. There's something for everyone. So from the music to the dance, that's all you're going to get from me. Stretches.
Okay. Yes, sounds like you're getting
We'll be here this morning.
Warm-up. All right, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. You need a warm-up. This is going to be a cold one a little later today.
Yeah, Mother Nature's bringing us a warm-up, but I'm not sure that it's one that we're desiring as much as we may think. I know a lot of people will kind of look at the forecast and they see those plus digits and they get really excited about it. They're like, ooh, a big warm-up. Here's what's going to happen. That warm-up is going to come with some showers that are going to make things very, very slick, and it's not going to last. By this afternoon, temperatures will be plummeting again, and so it's only going to make things really icy as the temperatures drop off. Anything that starts in shower form freezes, and then the winds polish up those surfaces on top of it all. In fact, those winds have already done a number on some of the surfaces. It's slick already this morning. -2 is where we're sitting right now, so that warm-up is in the works, and those winds, they're 28 clicks right now out of the south-southwest. It still is southwest wind and will remain so throughout the morning hours. It's about midday that those winds will start to shift, driving the temperatures down. Prior to that, the temperatures will just keep rising, and we're likely to crack the freezing mark. With that precipitation, we'll see it begin as showers, changing to flurries. I was saying, how do you dress for a day like today? Worst case scenario. If you're a 9 to 5er, you can expect by the time you're leaving the office today that the temperature will be around -6 to -8, with winds up to 70 clicks out of the northwest. So that's what you might want to dress for, some much colder weather, although the morning hours, yes, it's mild and somewhat pleasant if you don't mind the winds.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Thank you, Terry. It's time now for a question of the day. Daytime dramas, better known as soap operas, used to be must-see TV for millions of fans. Were you ever obsessed with a soap opera, so much so you couldn't miss a single episode? And if so, which one? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. Don't forget to include your name. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions have been amazing, and we want to see even more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a break here. We'll be back right after this.
We all know just how cold Manitoba winters can be. Imagine not having a winter coat, boots, a toque, or mitts, and stepping out into the cold. That's the reality for many kids. But you can change that. Give the gift of warmth. Donate to Coats for Kids.
Good morning. Manitoba Justice says a 29-year-old man died in custody at Headingley Correctional Centre Saturday. The province isn't releasing any more details, citing privacy reasons. It adds the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner has been alerted about the death. The deaths of 3 children in the Ottawa area are being linked to flu-related complications.
Situation where the coroner advised us of 3 influenza A-related deaths that happened recently.
According to Ottawa Public Health, the 3 children were between the ages of 5 to 9. Officials say they don't know yet if the children had underlying conditions or if they had their flu shots. As flu cases rise across the country, people are being told there is still time to get vaccinated. People are also being told they can protect themselves and others through proper hygiene. This includes proper hand washing, covering coughs and sneezes, and staying home if you're sick. Another warning from officials in BC because of more heavy rain.
As of this afternoon, there's approximately 100 properties under evacuation order and 1,200 properties under evacuation alert. This remains a dynamic and evolving situation, and the risks are real.
The province is urging people to stay away from river banks due to the potential for flooding and landslides with more rain in the forecast. Monday was the second night of Hanukkah, a Jewish festival about bringing light during darkness. Winnipeg City Hall invited Jewish community leaders to its annual candle lighting ceremony Monday afternoon. During Hanukkah, Jews light a new candle every night for 8 nights. It's in honor of 2,000-year-old story when 1 night's worth of oil miraculously burned for 8. It's often celebrated with singing, dreidel spinning, and gift giving. People also eat oily foods such as latkes and ponchis, which is a type of jam buster. In Bolivia, pet owners hit the streets in La Paz for a special Christmas parade. It's a dog parade. Both the animals and their owners turned out in costume to celebrate the season. The parade was also an opportunity for people to stop and get their pets vaccinated, since it was also a requirement to participate. Oh my goodness, look at that face. Here's a look at what's happening now along St. Mary's Road. Things have picked up here, as you can see, moving slowly overall. The streets are slippery right now. If you see any issues out on the streets, let us know. Text them to us.
Traffic is brought to you by the Children's Rehabilitation Foundation.
We have some sad news from the world of daytime television. Soap star Anthony Geary has died.
I don't tell you how to run your life, so don't tell me how to run mine, okay?
Geary starred on General Hospital as Luke Spencer for more than 30 years, appearing in nearly 2,000 episodes. He also won 8 Daytime Emmy Awards. He retired in 2015 and moved to Amsterdam with his husband. Geary died of complications from a surgical procedure. He was 78. There are 2 sides to every story.
Detective Harper, is it true you knew her?
Jeez, what was with that reporter?
My wife.
Suspects?
Stop.
Tessa Thompson stars in His and Hers. Thompson plays a journalist who is investigating a murder in her hometown. But things start to unravel when she clashes with the detective. The miniseries premieres January the 8th. The trailer for the second chapter of Stranger Things Season 5 has arrived.
this whole time. Everything we have ever assumed about the Upside Down has been dead wrong.
Volume 2 premieres on Christmas Day with 3 episodes. The latest trailer shows the heroes racing against the clock to unravel Hawkins' darkest secrets. And it also shows Vecna creeping in to declare that it's time for a new world. Following these 3 episodes, there will be an epic ending. The finale will air on New Year's Eve. Can't wait. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 tonight with E-Talk. Then at 7:30, it's The Big Bang Theory. At 8, watch MasterChef Canada. And back-to-back at 9 and 10, it's The Traitors Canada. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
All right, we're looking now through the Bathfitter Live Eye. Bathfitter, your bath and shower experts for more than 40 years. And every time we look outside, we just see those cameras shaking. The winds are going to be strong, pretty intense today, starting out of the southwest, but then shifting out of the northwest. And that's when everything is going to take a little bit of a twisted turn today. So right now, we're starting out with these plus-digit temperatures all throughout southwestern Manitoba. Southeastern Manitoba isn't quite as mild, but still well above what you would expect this time of year. And we've been rising pretty quickly. For example, when I came into work just before 5 a.m., it was -5. We're now sitting at -2, and we'll continue to make those gains throughout the morning hours. For northern Manitoba, considerably colder up in the most northern stretch. You're in the high -teens, low -20s. Temps might not be budging much throughout the day today. You'll deal with the heavier clouds up north, and winds there are making it feel in the low to mid -30s. You hear those winds, yes, they're going to be intense, but it's the shifting winds that's going to really cause the change up today. Precipitation on the way, coming in mixed form. We'll likely see it starting in shower form and then changing to flurries as those winds shift and start to take the temperatures down. So 2 degrees as kids get settled into the classroom, and we'll be enjoying some sunshine still then. Heavier clouds starting to move through, and could begin to see those showers as the temperatures keep rising till about midday. Into the afternoon, the winds shift out of the northwest, temperatures start to fall, showers change to flurries, winds will keep polishing up those surfaces, dicey conditions out on the streets. And then that snow, we're seeing another round of it for tomorrow, though it should taper off today, but another round tomorrow could bring another few centimeters, and then the cooler temperatures to follow after that. Our weather picture today, how stunning and beautiful is this out in Kildonan Park? Thanks to Leon for the photo, and keep them coming please to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Thank you, Terry. If you're looking to spruce up your house, Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Renovation Show runs January 16th to the 18th at the RBC Convention Center, and we have a few prizes to give away. One grand prize winner will walk away with a $1,000 gift card, 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating, and a meet and greet with Mike Holmes Jr. There's also 3 prizes of $500 gift cards with tickets to be won. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the keyword home. Good luck. Reaction is still pouring in after the death of famed director and actor Rob Reiner and his wife. The pair was discovered dead in their Los Angeles home. Now their son is in police custody on suspicion of murder. CTV's Andrea Case has more.
You are a meathead.
From a career started in front of the camera, Rob Reiner went on to be one of the most successful filmmakers of all time. The man behind so many iconic films lived in the quiet, upscale Los Angeles neighborhood of Brentwood. That quiet was shattered on Sunday afternoon when emergency crews responded to a 911 call after 3:30. At the home, they discovered 2 bodies, a man and a woman, and it was quickly ruled a homicide. Search warrants were issued, and a coroner identified the deceased as Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Singer Reiner. The couple's bodies were discovered by their 28-year-old daughter, Romy. 6 hours later, a shocking arrest was made.
We're able to take into custody Nick Reiner, a suspect in this case.
Hi, I'm Marty DeBerti.
78-year-old Reiner was an award-winning writer, director, and actor. He was known for directing iconic films, including This is Spinal Tap, The Princess Bride, and A Few Good Men.
You can't handle the truth.
What you really take away from his movies is a generosity
right? Where it's not about his style, it's about serving the work, and it's about giving room to actors.
The Reiners have been married since 1989. Ironically, it was on the set of a romantic comedy they met.
When he went into make, when Harry Met Sally, he met Michelle Singer, fell in love, and changed the ending of the movie to a happy ending.
Tributes are pouring in for the couple. Jane Fonda wrote Rob and Michelle Singer Reiner were always coming up with ideas for how to make the world better, kinder. President Barack Obama wrote, beneath all of the stories he produced was a deep belief in the goodness of people and a lifelong commitment to putting that belief into action. Andrea Case, CTV News.
Coming up, we're going to see a live rehearsal of the Nutcracker with the RWB. Stay with us. Ainsley McPhail is live with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet this morning. We got a sneak peek of a little bit of a dance just before the break. Are we going to get to see more this morning, Ainsley?
Rochelle, it's in my peripheral right now, and it's so cool, so stunning, and just a little teaser for the Nutcracker. Kendra Wu joins us now. Maribel and Daniel are our spectacular dancers. Kendra, how do you guys prep for the Nutcracker?
So the process starts in September. The artistic staff from the company, they come and look at the dancers, and then they're selected. Then we start rehearsals right away, and have been rehearsing for about 2 hours every week up until this point, and the dancers have been doing absolutely amazing.
And how do you place them in those roles?
There's a lot that goes into it. Part of it is even how the costume will fit them, because of course they do have to look like children among the company dancers. So a lot of it is in that youthful spirit that they bring to the characters.
The timing couldn't be more perfect. It's almost like, I mean, with the storytelling component, how do you wrap that up like a bow as well between their skill set, which is obviously high level, to telling the story?
It's a good question. I think when they come into these roles, it's so brand new to them. Sometimes when they come here to us, they haven't even seen our Nutcracker before, and there are different versions of the Nutcracker out in the world. And so I think really establishing the characters and bringing them into how Clara and Julian would feel in these moments, but also to allow themselves to bring their personalities into it is a really big piece of what makes each Clara and Julian unique.
So we have the best one. What would you say makes our Nutcracker so special?
I think all of the different Winnipeg and Canadian elements that come into it, the hockey, the house at Munson Park, I believe it is, and the fact that we have so many student roles from the professional division, from the recreational division, and the Anna McCowan Johnson aspirant dancers that all get to be in this big production with the company dancers, I think makes it so special.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Okay, coming up at 7:42, we're going to see some more of this. Take care.
Thank you, Ainsley. It's so beautiful when we get to see them performing like that.
An iconic show for sure, and part of so many people's Christmas tradition. Love it.
It is. And the weather today is going to start mild, but it's not going to be pleasant.
That's right. Yeah, I've been talking about this change-up that's coming, and I know you can be deceived by the temperatures easily, because where we're sitting right now at -2, it does seem mild and will likely push into the plus digits, in fact. But you can see the way the camera is shaking, and that's all due to those very strong winds, which are starting out of the south-southwest, moving 28 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 86%. So those winds will be shifting throughout the day today, and that's what's going to cause this big change-up that I've been talking about. Prior to that, clear conditions, temperatures rising, and a little bit of precipitation coming our way. Could start in shower form. Now, this time of year, I don't personally think that showers are really ideal, because it just makes things messy and slushy out there. But what's going to happen is those winds will shift out of the northwest, gusting at times to 70 kilometers per hour. We might get as high as +4 today, but then those temperatures dropping off quickly through the afternoon. By the time you're headed home from work, if it's around 5 p.m. or so, we could be sitting between -6 and -8. Winds on top of that will make it feel a whole lot colder. And so anything that might become slushy, liquidy, is just going to become icy later on today and get either rutted up or just pure polished up on some of those highways and surfaces. So travel might not be ideal. Down to -15 overnight, partly cloudy conditions. Sky begins to clear, but tomorrow another round of snow comes with highs around -4. Tomorrow will be a little more pleasant and wintry, typical winter day, or above seasonal, in fact. But we're back into those mid-minus teens as the sky clears out on Thursday. Another round of snow Friday. That's going to finish off the work week, and a little more sunshine as we're looking ahead to the coming weekend.
The city still doesn't know how a crew broke a water main on Main Street Friday. What's clear is it caused big headaches. Cars got stuck in rising water and local businesses took a hit.
Oh my God, look at that truck. It's stuck in the water.
Jacqueline Stortz says the worst part of the commute wasn't traffic, it was the flooding. Stortz and others drove right into rising water, but her aunt's van didn't make it to the other side. They called 911 and were rescued. While waiting in the ambulance, they met another driver whose vehicle also got stuck. About an hour and a half later, city crews closed Main Street both ways. However, businesses like the Kildonan felt the impact.
Friday afternoon is the busiest day of the week, and evening is the busiest time of the day. So, we have to shut it down. There's no sales. We're almost whole night is a dead night for us.
Councillor Edie says he knows the city's response to the water main break is being criticized. However, he says crews worked hard to fix the problem as fast as they could. A spokesperson tells CTV News the city is still investigating the incident, and they say the owner of the Kildonan can contact 311 to file a claim for the lost business, and it will be investigated. Stellantis says it has hired more than 1,000 people for the planned third shift at its Windsor assembly plant. Aside from the new hires, about 250 workers are transferring from the Stellantis plant in Brampton. The company is planning to hire 1,500 people for the third Windsor shift, which is expected to come online early next year. The shift is being added to meet demand for models of the Dodge Charger and Chrysler minivans. There are some concerning findings from a report on the safety of teachers in Quebec.
The statistics are alarming. The situation is terrible in our schools.
A survey from Quebec's Teachers Union asked members if they've experienced violence at work. 90% of those who responded said yes. Some teachers said they have been hit by students. Others say they have received threats from students and some parents. The Teachers Union is asking the province for an action plan to address the problem. 8 people have been killed from more U.S. boat strikes in the Pacific. The Pentagon has released footage of the strikes, which hit 3 boats in the eastern Pacific. The U.S. claims the boats were carrying drugs along a known trafficking route. At least 95 people have been killed so far by U.S. boat strikes. As questions rise over the legality of the strikes, senators will hold a briefing today. U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth are expected to appear. The FBI has arrested 4 alleged members of an extremist group who were planning a series of bombing attacks on New Year's Eve across Southern California.
The plan stated that the IEDs would be complex pipe bombs. It included instructions on how to manufacture the bombs and contained guidance on how to avoid leaving evidence behind that could be traced back to them.
The suspects are allegedly members of a radical faction of a far-left group called the Turtle Island Liberation Front. Court documents show the 4 individuals were arrested last week east of LA, where they were allegedly preparing to test improvised explosive devices. The BBC this morning says it will defend itself from a defamation suit launched by U.S. President Donald Trump. The suit is seeking $10 billion U.S. in damages. That's almost $14 billion Canadian. The BBC is accused of editing President Trump's speech on January 6th in a way to interfere in the 2024 election. The clip in question aired as part of the BBC's Panorama news program. The BBC has apologized for the edit, but rejects claims it amounts to defamation. We're getting a little more Mariah than we bargained for this winter. Mariah Carey will be the first major music act in the opening ceremony of the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics. The central theme of the ceremony is harmony, which is meant to combine music and sport to highlight values like inclusion, respect, and cultural exchange. The Winter Olympics open February 6th at the San Siro Stadium in Milan. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Following the rush, the northbound and southbound median lanes on Maryland Bridge will be closed between Cornish and Wellington Crescent. On Kennedy Street, the southbound curb lane will be closed from Cumberland to Capel, and the southbound median and curb lane on Carlton will be closed between Portage and St. Mary Avenue. If you have any other traffic tips to share, please text them to us at 10400. Let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.25. The provincial average is lower at $1.12. The Winnipeg's average is $1.10, and Winnipeg's lowest price is at $104.9. All this info is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
Right now it's -2. It's windy, so it feels like -9. Your Morning Winnipeg is back after this short break.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
It's -2 this morning, and still those cameras shaking. Uh-oh. We lost our microphone. Hang on a sec, folks. Stay with me, stay with me. Oh, I found it. Chickadee, check. All right, south-southwest winds, they're gusting to 28 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 86%. See, this is what happens when you're inside, outside, all the layers. You move the mic, I don't know where it is at any given time. Anyway, I do know where the snow is. It's still in Saskatchewan right now. Here's a look at the satellite image. Flurries, showers, all of that, though, making its way further to the east, and we'll be seeing that moving through southern Manitoba and central Manitoba as well. You can see the heavier clouds through central and northern Manitoba, but a fairly clear start for us here in the south. Now, temperatures are going to be very different from the north down to the south because we're sticking up in those low -20s across the most northern stretch, or high -teens. Central Manitoba, you can see how much milder it's going to be, and when we get into southern Manitoba, you'll see that we're going to be cracking the freezing mark today. But no, for northern Manitoba, it will be a cooler day for sure. Maybe a little bit sunnier over here in the far northwest. Lynn Lake might enjoy some slightly clearer conditions. Otherwise, some heavier clouds and that possibility of precipitation. Now here through central and southern Manitoba, take a look at the difference in temperatures. Pushing above the freezing mark is already a mild and plus-digit day throughout the southwest. We're just below the freezing mark right now at -2, but we'll likely crack the freezing mark and head up into those plus digits as well. With the precipitation that we could likely see beginning as showers, but then those winds are going to shift. They're shaking the camera right now. They're out of the south, but they're going to be shifting out of the northwest, and as they do, temperatures, they're going to be falling pretty sharply throughout the afternoon. So getting up above the freezing mark to a high of about 4 degrees, and then by around supper time or so, we'll have fallen to about -8. Showers changing to flurries. Winds, once they're shifting, could be gusting to about 70 kilometers per hour out of the northwest. So showers will change to flurries, but any slush will change back to ice. It's going to get rutted up or polished and slick. Travel may not be ideal today. Tomorrow, another round of snow expected, and then these slightly cooler below seasonal temperatures to carry us into the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. And let's go now to Ainsley.
What did I say, guys? Get into parallel. I'm just kidding. Rochelle, I wasn't yelling at the kids. I'm just kidding.
How is it over
I
there?
wanted to see your reaction. Oh, we're having a blast. We're having a blast. I feel like I'm back in ballet school, but they haven't kicked me out yet. Courtney's joining me. So is Emily Bergen. We're talking about Nutcracker, and I am joined by the Angels. Good morning, ladies.
Hello.
Hi, good morning. Emily, tell us about the prep that goes into this, because they've been working extremely hard.
Yeah, so we started all the way back in October with them, and we've had lots of rehearsals. There's a lot of different sections, but these guys are lucky to be here today. These are the Angels. So we've had about 7 rehearsals with these dancers. They've been doing a lot of work for it, and it's been a lot of fun, right, guys?
And Courtney, you guys the Angels have a special job. What exactly is that job?
We make the cake for Clara with Josselmeyer, and we also make the cake.
Yeah, totally. Have you been having a lot of fun with your teammates?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what are some things that you've been doing in order to prepare with your coach?
We practiced the moves, and we practice how we're doing the moves, and then pointing our toes and stuff like that.
Well, that's what we're talking about parallel before we went to camera, right? Okay, let's hit the music, and I can't wait to see you guys do it again. Okay, let's see.
Oh, they're so good. Thank you, girls. A game designer in Edmonton is incorporating tech into a new card game. CTV's Gates Guarin has more on how augmented reality is taking a simple game to the next level.
Ryan Stewart was looking for a new way to share some laughs with his friends.
When I was in college, me and my buddies would always try to find like crazy games to play or like drinking games or anything that was like a social activity like Cards Against Humanity.
But he says those games lost their novelty, and he set out to create a new one of his own. He landed on the idea of being able to write prompts and challenges for others to try and do.
We started playing and we're like, you know what, this would actually be kind of cool. Like a lot of other people thought it was fun to play.
After a few years of development, Katzenjammer was created, but not without some futuristic tweaks.
Originally, the cards would fold open and you'd have to write dares in, and we're like, oh, well, you can only use these cards like 3 times before it's just a mess. So we're like, well, maybe AR would work.
The use of augmented reality hides the prompts on the cards and are only revealed when using the game's phone app. Nate's Mike McCready says AR can be seen across many different industries already. The trades, service work, and transportation, just to name a few.
So if you ever looked at Google Maps has the ability to overlay directional icons such as arrows and whatnot in where you need to get travel to.
Gamers would also be familiar with augmented reality.
Another way would also be in entertainment, such as Pokemon Go would be probably one of the more common AR applications that we've seen.
McCready says even though we're seeing real-world examples, it's still tech that could be explored even further.
Augmented reality still is a bit of a niche area. It hasn't become ubiquitous in every aspect of our life, but I think the more use cases we see will be helpful.
Katzenjammer is one of those cases, and Stewart hopes to inspire the next game designer to create something they're passionate about.
The reason I made this game is because I wanted to play it and there wasn't a game there. So I think if you're working on a game, AR or not, it's like, do you enjoy playing this game? I think that's the most important part.
Gates Guarin, CTV News, Edmonton.
See who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy birthday, Carter, with love from your family. Happy birthday, Jones, with love from Mom. And a happy birthday, Richard, love from your wife, daughter, partner, and grandson. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It will also enter you to our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff. 3 Winnipeg locations and at partystuff.ca. Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
All right, it's pleasant out here this morning. These temperatures well above what you would expect for this time of year. We're getting close to the freezing mark and will likely crack it later on today, pushing up into the plus digits. But the caveat, it's the winds. We got them out of the southwest this morning. They're 28 kilometers per hour. They're not seeming too bad right now. -2 as a result of those winds. Feels more like -9. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 86%. But the winds, which are, noticeable out of the southwest, bringing in this warmer air mass, well, they're going to be shifting out of the northwest. About midday is when we're going to start to see that shift. And as that happens, these temperatures, which will continue to rise over the next few hours, and I mentioned will probably crack the freezing mark. Some parts of southwestern Manitoba are already in the plus digits and will likely get there later on today. But later on this morning, I should say, because later on today, we're actually going to be falling back below the freezing mark and getting close to a normal daytime high. Now, a normal daytime high would actually be around -10, but we could, by supper time, drop to about -8 with winds out of the northwest that'll be gusting to 70 kilometers per hour. Precipitation coming in could start as showers with the mild temperatures, but change to flurries as those temperatures start to fall. Meanwhile, northern Manitoba, you can expect some heavier clouds, a little bit of snow, and some colder temperatures up in those high teens and low 20s.
Sexual violence and intimate partner violence are growing problems in our society. Manitoba has a high amount of cases in both. A team of researchers at the University of Brandon is examining some of the challenges people here face, especially in rural, remote, and northern communities, while also providing a tool to know where to go for help. Joining us now from the Rural, Remote, and Northern Gendered Violence Research Team are Candice Waddell-Henowich and Hillary Dara-Wanchuk. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here with us. Now let's talk about the numbers of sexual and intimate partner violence we see here in Manitoba. What do they look like?
They're high. Unfortunately, they're higher than a lot of the other provinces and territories. Us and Saskatchewan have some of the highest numbers in the lower provinces.
And why do you think that is?
There's a variety of causes, lots of different causes, but the rural, remote, northern aspect, a low population, low services, that all contributes.
Okay, and who is most at risk?
There's no demographics. It's all across the board. So everybody's at risk. And that's why it's such an important concept, an important topic.
Okay, well, let's talk about some of the research you conducted for this study. What did you find?
Well, we did an environmental scan.
Yeah, so the environmental scan involved doing some Google searches to see what kind of resources were out there for rural, remote, and northern Manitobans. And then we contacted those organizations to get more information about what resources they provide. And then we were able to put them into this booklet here to be a one-stop shop for all the information, because it can be difficult to find, even when I was doing it in a calm environment, never mind if someone is in crisis and already struggling with what to do. So we wanted it to be in one place and to be able to know where to go based off health regions too, what's close to you versus what might be really far away.
Were you surprised by some of the things that you found in this research?
Yeah, I thought there would be more resources available. I was also surprised by the variability of what different organizations can offer, and that's often based off of funding and just fundraising, where they're able to get their income. So there was a lot of, there could be very big differences between organizations. But I also found that the people doing this work are so passionate about it, and they really give all their hearts, and we have some of the best providers in this area.
Right. Now, you mentioned that often when people are in crisis, they don't have time to do the Google searches to find where to go. Often, many people in those remote communities don't even have access to the internet. So how do you, or even 911, how do you tackle that?
Yeah, that's an ongoing issue, isn't it? One of the things that we're trying to do is get this across the province so that it's local and it's available in all places where women and gender diverse people hang. So anybody who needs it, we're hoping that they can find access to this resource, which has all of the phone numbers, the websites, everything that they might possibly need, easily and attainable. What we're just trying to get it out there now. So it's free and it's available, and anybody who wants it can get a copy of it in their own environments to make it easier for people to access.
Why was this important for you to create this resource?
One of the reasons was that I do a lot of work in this sector, and I was finding that there's a lot of discrepancies between resources for one, what resources are able to do because of funding, like Hillary mentioned, and then also that there's inconsistencies on other sites, or so someone might try to search something and they might end up with something else. So there's the main ones that are always available, like Clinic with a K and the YWCA's and MAWS, which is the Manitoba Association of Women's Shelters. But some of the smaller resources that are more local are a little bit harder to find. So we just wanted to make sure that everything was in one location so that everybody's aware of all of the services that are available.
And where can that resource be found?
It's on the Clinic with the K website. It's on the Manitoba Association of Women's Shelters website. It's downloadable from both of those sites. It's also on our research page at Brandon University. And anybody can download it. Anybody can print it. There's also posters kicking around that go directly to a QR code that can be posted. Okay. So it's available everywhere, and people just need to search, print, and post.
Okay, that sounds perfect. And of course, we'll also have a link on our website. Thanks, Candace and Hillary.
Thank you so much.
Hello, gang. Jennifer Hedger with you inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Monday. And for that, we'll head to the Battle of Florida for this one. Panthers and Lightning, first period. Nikita Kucherov is denied by Sergei Bobrovsky. The loose puck goes to Anthony Cirelli, but he is robbed by the Panthers' Tendy. A pair of big saves kept the Bolts off the board for the win, and Bobrovsky earns your must-see moment. Well, today on TSN, we've got some NCAA hoops for you. At number 11, Louisville takes on number 20, Tennessee, and it all starts at 7 p.m. Eastern on TSN 1 and 5. That is all from the SC Newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN Must-See Moment is brought to you by Super Blinds, helping your home get holiday ready with Blinds by Hunter Douglas.
It's Tuesday, December 16th. Today, light in darkness. Jewish communities across Canada observe Hanukkah as anti-Semitism rises and attacks hit Australia. Plus, food prices up. Grocery costs jump faster than inflation, with fruit, beef, and coffee driving the hike. And Power Play. Hockey Canada launches plan to grow girls hockey and boost women coaches by 2030. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock. Thank you so much for tuning in with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. At about 8:15, we're going to hear from Ace Burpee. Of course, every year he releases his top 100 most fascinating Manitobans. We're going to get a sneak peek on who is on the list this year, and hint, many of them have been in our studio. So we're going to have more on that a little later. But the weather today it's a strange day. It is much fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a little bit bizarre. I mean, it's so mild out there right now, and I just don't want anyone to get fooled and leave home without the proper attire, because by later on today, you're going to wish that you had that bigger jacket with you. I know sitting at -2 right now, it does seem quite pleasant, and the winds, I mean, you'll notice them, but at -2, it doesn't seem to have that same kind of impact, though it is strong, 28 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling, the humidity is sitting at 86%, and look at that, waking up to a clearer sky, and you can see that here on the satellite image as well. Heavier clouds, though, through central and northern Manitoba, and off to the west of us, well, that's where we're still seeing the precipitation, flurries or showers, and that's what's going to be rolling through all across southern Manitoba. So here's a look at the futurecast and how things will play out. And while those clouds never read with the precipitation through central and northern Manitoba, expect that there will be some. But again, so very mild that you could be seeing some freezing rain even through parts of central Manitoba. Further into the north, it is going to be a colder day, sitting in the low -20s, but here in the south, plus digits, which means that as that precipitation rolls in, it might start in liquid form. But the winds out of the south this morning that are on the stronger or more noticeable side will only get stronger, shifting out of the northwest, taking the temperatures down, and suddenly showers will then change to flurries. We might see it clearing somewhat overnight, only to see another round of snow moving in for tomorrow. And this one, get the shovels out, because you could be busy with that one. All through central, mostly southern Manitoba, we're going to be seeing that snow really stacking up Wednesday and into the overnight hours. Now, it clears out again by Thursday, but Thursday we're going to see the temperatures dropping off a little bit, and then it will remain closer to seasonal. -10 is normal for this time of year. So we're getting back to those cooler temperatures. But today, they'll slide. Tomorrow, the snow. And then we're settling back into winter again. And our art today, Rudolph. Thank you very much to 6-year-old Adeline. Love what you've done here. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Jewish communities across Canada are marking Hanukkah with a heavy heart.
I don't sleep all night. I just watch TV and come in sadness.
Members of the Jewish community are watching the news coming out of Australia with sadness. This says incidents of anti-Semitism are on the rise at home. Police across Canada have increased security at Jewish spaces and events. Hanukkah celebrations are moving ahead. Leaders say the idea is to counter the darkness with light. That holiday grocery run may cost you more. Statistics Canada says fruit, beef, and coffee drove prices up at more than double the inflation rate last month.
It's very hard to get by with the prices that are rising right now. We have to mix match what we can grab one month and what we can the other month.
Statistics Canada says grocery food inflation rose in November year over year by 4.7%, more than double the consumer inflation rate of 2.2%. Fresh fruit, beef, and coffee were the top contributors, driven in part by supply shortages and poor weather. So what does that mean for the holiday table? Sylvain Charlebois, director of the Agri-Food Analytics Lab at Dalhousie University, says ham, fruit, and vegetable prices are up, but there is some good news with the main dish. He says some grocers are cutting the price of turkeys to attract shoppers.
Turkeys have been used as loss leaders, really, to get you in there and buy other things that are a little bit more expensive, like cranberries, for example, potatoes, and other things you would need.
Charlebois says those turkey deals may not last as Christmas gets closer, and because of higher prices, more families are turning to potlucks to share the cost. And one more thing, if fruitcake is on your menu, Charlebois says many have been shrinkflated. The Manitoba government is looking at another larger than expected deficit. The mid-fiscal year update says the province is now predicting a deficit of $1.6 billion. That's more than double the $794 million shortfall originally forecast in the spring. The province is blaming the larger deficit on the $370 million wildfire response, along with steep losses at Manitoba Hydro, which relies on water levels for energy. Finance Minister Adrian Sala says the government still intends to balance the budget before the next election without cutting services. Here's a look at what's happening now in traffic along Notre Dame Avenue. It looks like things are moving well over here. We have no delays or crashes to tell you about at this point. If you see any problems out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We've been talking about the Nutcracker with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet throughout the morning, and the music is what is iconic when it comes to the Nutcracker. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Rochelle. I feel like every time I'm at the Nutcracker as a spectator, one, I'm obviously in awe, but I'm looking at the pit going, how do they do that? I'm so curious. Look at some of the masterminds behind it. Monica Chen joins me now, assistant conductor with the WSO. Tell us about why Tchaikovsky's score has brought people back time and time again.
You know, the music itself is just such a classic. You know, it's one of those timeless canons of the musical repertoire, and I think it really has become one with the holiday spirit so much, and that has become really a tradition for Winnipeg especially.
And it tells the story so effectively. Is there a specific piece that you're called to?
Yeah, for myself personally, I really love pretty much the entirety of the first act. I think because the way the choreographers had made it, it really made it into a storyline that you can really follow, and the music just kind of seamlessly blends and plays into that.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to preparation, there's a lot of moving parts. Heck, the dancers have been doing this since the summertime. What does it look like for you guys?
For us, actually, many of the musicians have played this for years and years. Like they've played, some of them have played it up to 400 times at this point. So for some of them, they're like, okay, it's Nutcracker season, we're just gonna roll in and play it. And then for the others who've played this for maybe the first time, it's like
we only have 2 rehearsals for this giant masterwork, you know, and it's really, Nutcracker is really part of a musician's kind of core repertoire, because all across, I think, the world, probably, people are always playing Nutcracker around the holiday season.
So I guess there's like fairy plumps dancing in their heads all the time. Why should people come? Real quick.
I think definitely for the dancing, for the music, for the story. It's a wonderful time. I always enjoy it every single time I see it, which is a lot.
Thank you so much. Head to the link on our website for more details and come on down this Friday, perhaps.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Hockey Canada has unveiled a national blueprint aimed at transforming the women's and girls' game across the country. It comes with an ambitious goal of seeing 170,000 players registered by 2030 and putting more women in leadership positions like head coaching positions. CTV's Jesse Thomas has more.
Hockey Canada released its Rise as One report, a focus on the women's game with 14 national recommendations to grow and improve the sport from the grassroots to the highest levels.
The need for girls hockey and the demand for girls hockey is there. What we are saying is we just can't just expect year over year. We have to make dramatic changes in order to continue to blow through these type of goals.
At its core, the report calls for a national standardized youth development program with stronger national oversight. Nova Scotia's Corey Chevry has seen the game from every angle, as a player at St. Mary's University and now as a coach with the women's national team and as head coach of the Montreal Victoire in the PWHL.
I think we still continue to see growth in the women's game across the country, and being from the Maritimes and the Atlantic provinces, we're seeing growth there as well, not only with players but coaches, officiating, and bench staff.
The blueprint is pushing to grow leadership opportunities for women in the sport while also giving girls the same chances as boys to get on the ice and develop their skills.
Well, there wasn't really any just for girls organizations. It was mostly girls would just play on boys' teams.
St. Mary's forward Jill Duggan is in the final stretch of her university hockey career. She grew up playing competitive hockey with the boys until she was 13.
I honestly wouldn't change anything.
Across the country, 115,000 girls were registered in minor hockey last year. By 2030, Hockey Canada wants that number to climb past 170,000. Dugan has seen the sport evolve, and putting the women's game in the spotlight will help.
When I was younger, I looked up to girls on the Canadian team, but now they have an actual league.
The PWHL is coming to Halifax on Wednesday, with Montreal taking on Toronto. It's a chance to see the best in the world.
It's just going to open the eyes. It's going to set dreams higher. It's going to really push the boundaries of what is possible in the Maritimes.
Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
All right, a look now through the Bath Fitter Live Eye. Bath Fitter, your bath and shower expert for more than 40 years. And what a beautiful start to your morning. Clear and mild, breezy though. That camera is going to be shaking all day, more so this afternoon, because as strong as the winds might be through the morning hours, they're going to get stronger later on today. We cracked the freezing mark. It's not even 9 a.m. and here we are sitting now at 2 degrees. It's been warming up quickly over the course of the morning, and even more so off to the west of us. We're seeing 7 degrees right now in Portage in the Morden Winkler area. I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to break some records today with where these temperatures are headed all through the southwest, well above the freezing mark. Moving up into parts of central Manitoba, you can see it's a little bit cooler in those mid-minus single digits or low-minus teens, and then high-minus teens. And the further that you go up into the north, you're hitting the low-minus 20s. There will be some heavier clouds and some precipitation through central and northern Manitoba, and then the winds factored in, and it's feeling in the low-minus 30s, so you do need to really bundle up throughout northern Manitoba. And I'm not saying not to bundle up here in the south. I'm saying just know what you're dressing for, because as mild as it might be when you leave the house this morning, it will not be feeling the same way by the time you're coming home today. Here's a look at the satellite image. Fairly clear conditions right now. Those heavier clouds through northern Manitoba will bring the precipitation, but we'll likely see some rolling across southern Manitoba today, beginning about midday in liquid form, because look at these temperatures. 3 degrees as kids get settled into the classroom, 4 degrees over the lunchtime, but -3 by the time they're coming home, and that continues to fall. By the time you might be wrapping up at the office, if you're a 9 to 5er, for example, we could be sitting around -6, supper time, -8. Those temperatures dropping quickly through the afternoon as the winds increase. Another round of snow tomorrow will have you get those shovels out. We could be seeing significant amounts of snowfall through Wednesday and Wednesday night into Thursday. But by Thursday, the sky clears out. The temperatures drop off a little bit, and we will be sitting closer to seasonal, -10, normal for this time of year. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
When you give a child a winter coat, you give them the means to go to school on a cold day, a chance to play outside, because no child should be freezing cold. Donate to Coats for Kids. Proudly sponsored by United Way Winnipeg and CTV.
The Canadian government has approved Anglo American's acquisition of Teck Resources, helping to clear the way for the creation of a $50 billion metals giant focused on copper mines in Chile and Peru. Anglo and Teck agreed to strengthen earlier promises about the new headquarters, which will be in Vancouver. Industry Minister Melanie Joly says the deal would secure 4,000 jobs in the country, equal to Teck's current employment. Stellantis says it has hired 1,000 new employees in the past month in Windsor, Ontario, where it's adding a third shift at its assembly plant. Plus, an additional 240 employees from its Brampton, Ontario plant have transferred there. Typically, such a hiring spree and third shift would signal boom times and might even be celebrated, but Stellantis, of course, embroiled in a dispute with the federal government about its decision to indefinitely pause renovating its assembly plant in Brampton, and that decision has left thousands of workers worried about their future and raised concerns about how the United States tariffs are impacting jobs in the Canadian auto sector. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Every year, Ace Burpee from 103.1 Virgin Radio releases a list of the top 100 most fascinating Manitobans. That time of year is back, and Ace Burpee is joining us now. Good morning, Ace.
Good morning, and I should thank you.
Thank you.
No. Because I got a bunch from this year's list from you.
That was my first question. I was going to ask you, it must be hard to find all those names. How do you make your list and how do you pick them?
I just keep an ongoing folder in my phone, and anytime I hear, read, see something, I make a note of that person. I'll get back to it. But remember during the wildfire, specifically Lac du Bonnet, you had those two women come on, they had made that merch. Right? Wild ones, right? And so stuff like that, I got that from you. I got a bunch from you this year, so thank you.
And well, you're welcome. How do you pick them? What are you looking for when you select?
So I usually have roughly, let's say, 250 names by December to choose from. And then I'll be like, so this year, honestly, I had, 70-ish that were science alone.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I'm like, well, we can't have just 70 science things on this list. So I try and a few sport, a few arts, a few science, a few community or volunteer type thing, and just try and work it all in. Yeah.
That's a lot of pressure.
Yeah,
it must be hard.
I love it. I love it so much.
Okay, so you have 100 people. You're going to kind of give us a sneak peek on some of the names. We just heard some.
So yeah, the list will come out. It's on 1031virginradio.ca. It'll be in the free press, proper and online.
Okay.
But so maybe I'll just say first names to be elusive.
Because you don't want to give it all away.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's this woman, Dana. So you know TIFF, the Toronto International Film Festival. So one of the biggest in the world.
Yes.
Right? She had 2 films. She's from here. She had 2 films premiere at TIFF this year, which I tried to find other people who had even big Hollywood names.
Yeah.
I couldn't find another that had 2 films at TIFF.
That's cool.
What was the guy? I think you talked to him. Darcy?
Yes.
Is the world champion in blind golf.
I know. He was in studio with us.
He's the world champ.
Yes.
Stuff like this. And honestly, I'll never run out. I never repeat names. So every year I do 100 new names. And it's just people do really interesting, cool things. And I love being able to share a few of them.
There's a lot of incredible people in our community. Just the 70 list alone in sciences that you mentioned is breakthroughs, things that other researchers around the world are excited about.
You could do 100 every year of research breakthroughs.
Yeah.
Well, this girl Angelina from near Brandon, she's won the Canadian science fair. She was in like grade 9 or something. So this is all of Canada. And she had these alternative treatments for acne, okay?
Okay.
Canada-wide Science Symposium winner.
Wow.
Right? And that's the future right there. Yeah.
It's very exciting.
It's
Manitobans are really incredible and really trailblazers here in this province. When will people get to see this list?
So 27th.
Okay.
I don't know what day of the week that is. Well, this time of year, I never know. Yeah, 27th is when it goes everywhere. Yeah.
That is so exciting. Any last messages for people for maybe next year?
Yes, because there are people on this year's list that I had last year, ran out of space, and now they're on. So yeah, nothing's ever over.
Okay. Well, Ace, thank you so much for sharing this with us. And of course, if you want more information, we have a link on our website. Thanks, Ace.
Thank you.
All right, looking this morning, and it is gorgeous out here right now. The sun is shining. Well, the sun finally just started to rise, but it is looking good, gorgeous and clear, and as it rises higher, we'll enjoy it through the morning hours. The clouds, though, will be building up, and with them comes some precipitation. But for these morning hours, while we're enjoying a little bit of sunshine and clear sky, it's so very pleasant. We're in the plus digits already. 2 degrees is where we're sitting right now, a 24K wind out of the southwest, the pressure falling, and the humidity sitting at 82%. So yes, this morning you're thinking, what do you need the parka on for, Terry? Because later on today, you're going to be glad. If you are overdressed for this morning, you'll be appropriately dressed for this afternoon, because things are going to take a pretty drastic turn. About midday is when we're going to notice that shift in the winds. It's a noticeable wind this morning, but it's going to get even stronger yet this afternoon. From the southwest, it'll be shifting out of the northwest, and temperatures will start to fall. That precipitation that's coming in, because it's so mild, it could start as showers, but then change to flurries as the temperatures drop off. We've got some perhaps sideways snow then into the afternoon as the temperatures fall to about -8 by supper time, and then those winds kicking around the snow, polishing up the surfaces. Anything that becomes slushy and messy will turn to rutted up ice. So everything is going to take a bit of a turn throughout the day today. Oh, and then there's more snow on the way tomorrow, so make sure you've got those shovels out. And our weather picture today out in Kildonan Park looking gorgeous with that fresh dusting, or that's not just a dusting of snow, that's a significant snowfall. Thanks to Leon for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather brought to you by the Winnipeg Humane Society. From all the dogs, cats, and critters, thank you for your kindness.
Tech items are always hot gift ideas, so what a great time to turn to the tech expert, Mark Salzman, to get some of those gift ideas. Good morning, Mark, and welcome. Good to see you again.
Good morning as well, and thank you for having me. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Yeah, same to you. But before we get into all the happiness of the season, we want to take some of that stress off of us with getting our list shopped for. So, with some great guides for perhaps the gamer in our lives, what have you got for us today?
That's a great place to start. Yeah, we'll start with Canada's hottest video game system, Nintendo Switch 2, of course, which lets you play anywhere, anytime, at home or on the go. It has a bigger and better display than its predecessor, more power. It's got now magnetic Joy-Con controls on each side, a new game chat feature, and support for thousands of games. For example, a new one is Pokemon Legends ZA, has you return to Lumio City to explore and compete as a trainer. It's an epic role-playing game that now lets you play in thrilling real time. So no more taking turns and waiting. A lot more fun, more dynamic. There's also a Nintendo Switch 2 Pokemon ZA bundle that you may want to consider for a lucky person on your gift list. If you're more of a computer gamer or you're shopping for one, then a Razer keyboard is what I would recommend. No looking back after you've played on this. I'm referring to the Black Widow V3 Special Edition. So this is a comfortable, customizable, and gorgeous keyboard powered by Razer Chroma RGB. So I love the bright and colorful lighting underneath the white keys. But more importantly, it delivers precision and speed with its mechanical switches. Love the way it feels and sounds. Ultra fast actuation and tactile feedback. It also has 6 programmable macro keys, a multifunction roller, and media keys as well. It's on sale at Best Buy down to $99 instead of $219. So that's a huge discount for that Razer keyboard. Yeah. Yeah, I'm a big computer gamer myself.
Very nice. I've got a gamer in my life, so I'll put that on the list. Now, I myself, my laptop is nearing the end of its life, I can tell. So you've also got some great ideas there.
I sure do, yeah. So the Asus ZenBook A14 is not only the world's lightest Copilot Plus PC at under a kilogram, it's only 980 grams, so you won't even feel it in your backpack or in your bag, but it's super durable as well. It's made from exclusive material called Ceraluminum, which is 3 times stronger than standard anodized aluminum, and it's smudge-free as well. Along with the gorgeous 14-inch OLED screen, my favorite feature, get this, up to 32 hours of battery life.
Nice.
That is insane. 32 hours of battery life for video playback on that. And it's up to $400 off for this ZenBook A14 from Asus. That's at staples.ca, or you can go to a Staples location. So it's down to $949 for that. And then speaking of computing, let's end off on the ViewSonic VX1655 4K monitor. So this is a premium 15.6-inch portable monitor. Super lightweight as well. It plugs into a laptop, a phone, a tablet, wherever life takes you, and usually doesn't need external power because it gets the power from whatever it's plugged into. Like, again, a phone, a tablet, even a video game console in most cases. Great for work or play. It's got stunning 4K resolution, an option for an OLED model. It's got a kickstand, all the cables in the box, a protective cover, and more. ViewSonic.com has more.
All great ideas. I love it. So that's got my list covered off. Thank you. So now, with all of that stress off, I can say happy holidays and Merry Christmas to you.
And to you. Thanks so much for having me. All the best.
Your Morning Winnipeg. Coffee is brought to you by Robin's Donuts, your favorite stop.
And now we get to enjoy the sunshine along with these incredibly mild temperatures. It's 2 degrees right now. That is a +2. No minus sign missing. Southwest winds, they're 24 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling and the humidity at 82%. Yes, just into the 8 o'clock hour, we cracked the freezing mark, and it is going to continue to warm up over the course of the morning. Clear conditions here. We just saw that shot of the sun rising over the city. So 8:21 is official sunrise. So now we're going to see it climb a little higher in the sky. In central and northern Manitoba, you've got the clouds, but here's the precipitation. It's right now in southeastern Saskatchewan, and it will be moving into parts of southern Manitoba. Central Manitoba, you're already likely seeing it. It just doesn't read on the satellite image. But when it shows up for us here throughout the south, because it is so mild, it could begin in liquid form. It won't stay that way. We're not going to stay with these +digit temperatures. We'll rise to a high of about 4 degrees, but then this afternoon, about midday or so, winds will be shifting out of the northwest, gusting to about 70 kilometers per hour, and temperatures will be plummeting pretty quickly through the evening time. Down to -15 overnight, but by supper time tonight, we could already be at about -8, dropping further overnight, but rising for tomorrow. However, tomorrow comes with plenty more snow. Some models are showing up to 20 centimeters throughout the course of the day and overnight, because it will continue Wednesday night as well. So get those shovels out. The temperatures will be mild tomorrow. The winds will be a little more moderate, but then it will cool down on the other side of that. And we've got these slightly below seasonal temperatures then to carry us into the weekend.
A fire at a vacant building near downtown Winnipeg shut down part of Portage Avenue this morning. Fire crews responded just before 5:30 a.m. to a fire at a one-story block with 4 empty storefronts on the corner of Portage and Banning Street. Westbound traffic on Portage is blocked and detoured through parking lot at Burnell Street. No word yet on what caused the fire or the extent of the damage. CTV News has reached out to the City of Winnipeg for more information on this fire. A pair of tech companies is eyeing a plot of land just south of Winnipeg for a new data center. Jet AI and Consensus Core say they've secured purchase agreements for 350 acres directly north of Ile-des-Chênes, roughly 9 kilometers south of Winnipeg. The companies describe the area as a Goldilocks site for a data center, given the close proximity to hydropower and natural gas lines. Data centers are typically large facilities which house vast networks of servers needed for computing and networking infrastructure. A spokesperson for Consensus Core says the project is still in the preliminary stage and will depend on rezoning approvals. While there isn't a final design plan yet, the building itself wouldn't take up the full 350 acres. The RM of Richat says it would be premature to comment as nothing has formally been presented to council. The Liberals need just one more floor crossing to secure a majority government, and Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is calling it undemocratic.
I'm very troubled that they made that decision, but the people in their ridings voted for the Conservative agenda that I'm continually leading on in the House of Commons.
The latest across the floor was Markham Unionville MP Michael Ma. A small but vocal protest was later set up outside his constituency office demanding answers. Sources tell CTV News the Energy Minister helped recruit Ma, and Tim Hodgson says he is getting, quote, a lot of other inquiries as well. Conservative Alberta MP Matt Genereux met with Prime Minister Carney in November before deciding to quit politics. That was just days after Nova Scotia MP Chris d'Entremont crossed the floor in November. If another Conservative does cross the floor, Poilievre says he will remain at the helm of the party for his leadership review in January. With the high cost of living, many people are feeling financial pressures, and that could mean you may need to take out a loan. But if you do, watch out for the advance fee loan scam. You're told to pay a fee up front to get a loan, and then it never happens. CTV's Pat Foran reports.
I don't want them scamming other people.
Linda Bailey of Pickering says it was in September when she went online and Googled loan companies. One of the first to pop up was Dynamic Resource Solutions. She contacted them and was told she could get a $20,000 loan, but she had to pay $4,000 in advance to secure the funds.
They came up and I read all their stuff about them. People gave good reviews on them.
Once Bailey paid the advance fee, the loan never happened. She was scammed out of $4,000.
I'm losing my car, I'm losing my home, I'm losing my animals, I'm losing everything.
CTV News emailed and called Dynamic Resource Solutions but did not get a response. There have been other complaints about the company made to the Better Business Bureau.
It's illegal in Ontario to ask for an advance fee for any type of loan.
Angela Dennis with the BBB says scammers often target people who have credit issues and who might not be able to get a loan through a traditional lender.
When people are paying these fees, typically they're being told it's for insurance purposes or an administration fee, and consumers are sending in their money and they're not receiving the loan.
To avoid the advance fee loan scam, beware if a loan is guaranteed and a credit check is not necessary. Be suspicious if you're asked to pay fees or a deposit in advance, such as insurance or processing charges. And be concerned if the company doesn't exist at a physical address. Bailey is now in a worse financial situation since being scammed out of $4,000, and she still has bills that need to be paid.
Can't get my money back. I can't get it back. That's just, it's the way it'll be.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
We have a traffic tip to share with you now. Pembina northbound just before Jubilee, the median lane is blocked. Keep right to pass and expect long delays. But here on Pravashi, no issues at all. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.25. The provincial average is lower at $1.12. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.10, and the lowest price in the city is $1.04. All this information is on GasBuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
For our question of the day, we wanted to know which soap opera was a must-see TV for you and whether you were obsessed with a soap opera. And Gina says, yes, in the 90s when my children were babies, Young and the Restless, 100%. I agree, that was mine too. For Val, The Edge of Night was her favorite in the mid-70s. Wendy shared that she enjoyed The Edge of Night. Karen said she was a faithful watcher of Another World and Dark Shadows. Cheryl still watches Days of Our Lives. She started watching as a little girl with her grandma, and now she watches it with her granddaughters. Young and the Restless was Charlotte's answer. Same for Arlene. She's been watching Young and the Restless for over 35 years. Lucy was obsessed with the soap opera Another World. And Susan used to watch All My Children. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live with the Royal Winnipeg Ballet this morning. They're getting ready for the Nutcracker. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, Michelle. I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but Rusalka is one of my favorite parts about the Nutcracker. It's so much fun. It's so Winnipeg. It's so classic. Thank you so much for being here, team. And Alexander, thank you. Tell us about what it means to you guys to come back time and time again.
Yeah, so it's been really special for us over the last number of years having the opportunity. When you get the chance to come back time and time again, like anything else that you do repetitively, it becomes a sort of Christmas tradition for us and surely for the Winnipeg community as well.
And what are you going to be playing for us today? What's the name of this ensemble?
So this is a traditional dance that always kicks off the finale of any Ukrainian event. It's called Hopak. And it's this competition between the ladies and the gentlemen showing off their tricks and moves to kind of compete with one another.
Well, when you guys are rehearsing, you're making me dizzy, some of those ladies. But the men, I could do this. I love it. Okay, guys, take it away.
Wonderful. I love that.
Oh, the talent with that group.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's so nice to see during the Nutcracker as well. They're amazing. How's it feeling out there right now?
So pleasant. Honestly, I mean, I'm standing here in my biggest parka, and I know that this looks extreme, and if you step outside, you're like, Terry, that is totally unnecessary. True, perhaps, for the time being, but you see, I've got it like unzipped at the top and the bottom, and I'm like, enjoy that air. Anyway, my point is, I decided on the bigger parka because depending on how long your day is, you've got to dress for the worst of it. And the worst is yet to come. This is probably the best part of the day. These morning hours, as these temperatures rise, we're at 2 degrees right now, +2. We might even gain another couple degrees. We're dealing with a bit of a breeze. It's out of the southwest. It's 24 kilometers per hour, but with these mild temperatures, it doesn't have a bite. It's so beautiful out here. And the sun is shining, the sky is clear. Gorgeous start to your morning. The pressure falling, the humidity sitting at 82%. But soon the temperatures will be falling, and perhaps some precipitation too. We could be seeing that moving in, and with the possible precipitation, if it's still this mild, it could begin as showers, but then change to flurries. Why? Because the winds are going to be shifting about midday from the southwest, as they are, to the northwest, and getting even stronger yet. We're looking at up to 50K wind gusts this morning, but up to 70K wind gusts this afternoon, taking those temperatures right down and ending up, if you're coming home around 5-6 p.m. today, around -8 with some sideways snow. So that's why I say wear the parka that you might need for later on today. Just make sure that you're prepared for what Mother Nature is going to throw our way. Taking a break right now. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful, helping your home get holiday ready with blinds from Hunter Douglas.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
Unhoused people living in Canadian cities are constantly on the move and can walk dozens of kilometers a day. Many suffer from a number of foot problems, and at this time of year, it's typically frostbite. In Calgary, a group of foot care specialists volunteers a few times a month to care for clients of a nonprofit agency called the Mustard Seed. Kevin Fleming reports.
Leslie Boyer has been a client of the Mustard Seed for 10 years. Volunteers have stepped in to help her with a particularly troubling foot problem.
And I had my toenails taken off when I was 12. So those little bits of toenail will catch on my sheets and bleed, so I have to sleep with socks on.
Her ingrown toenails can become extremely painful if the nails are not looked after, and that task falls on Tammy Larson, a foot care specialist for the last 10 years.
Because of the shape of her toe, she gets ingrowns on the sides, which can be very painful, and lead to infections. So by taking those out and removing them, there's less pressure and less open areas to get infection.
The actual quality of life I have is great because I can't walk. Sometimes I can't wear my winter boots, you know, and being in here, and they're always so helpful.
Shannon Adano is the wellness advocate supervisor here and says clients are on their feet constantly.
Someone told me that people can walk like 50 kilometers a day, or because if you think about being homeless or being on the street, like there's not a lot of free spaces for you to stay at. So people are constantly on the move.
Monica Shepard is the founder of Nursing Souls. She and her nurses volunteer here a few times a month, trimming toenails or treating fungus when patients constantly wear wet shoes and socks.
Every time we do a treatment, we put brand new socks on because we don't want cross-infection. We throw away the old ones, and even every time they book, I give them new socks because it's very important.
Shepard says the nurses will typically pay for good quality merino wool socks themselves, just to make sure their patients' feet are protected. Kevin Fleming, CTV News, Calgary.
An Australian runner has rewritten the record books at the bottom of the world.
It's so hard. Wow. Oh my God, that is unlike anything I've ever done. I've done marathons before, but that is so tough. So tough.
Catherine Drysdale is the first female champion in the 20 years of the Antarctic Ice Marathon. All of the runners braved strong winds and temperatures around minus 15 degrees Celsius during the run, with Drysdale finishing it in 3 hours, 48 minutes and 43 seconds. The Antarctic Ice Marathon is the world's southernmost marathon, and it takes place at the Union Glacier, about 965 kilometers away from the South Pole.
If you're looking for the perfect gift this holiday season, one that sparkles and shines, you're going to want to head to Ben Moss. Val is joining me now, and she's going to tell us about all the latest finds. Val, you've got some beautiful displays here and some gifts for him and her.
Yes, I do. We can just give him a nice curved chain with a very nice sleek bracelet, or just a simple statement ring. And if that's not enough, you have a very beautiful watch that you can complement it.
Oh, it's stunning. And for her?
For her, we have the new collection of Tuscany gold, which we can have some nice bracelets, a matching ring, and a very sophisticated chain with a nice pendant.
And you know what? Her can be yourself, right? And you mentioned new collections. There's a vast choice here. Lots of options. Tell us about it.
Well, here at Ben Moss, with a high increase price of the gold, we came across with a new collection called Vermeil. Vermeil is affordable, sustainable, and is absolutely beautiful. It combines the sterling silver with a layer of gold. Here at Ben Moss, we use 18 carats gold, so it's a very, very nice look, and the designs are stunning. And the second collection that we are introducing this year is called Pierced by Light. We use lab-grown diamonds, SI clarity. We do not have the diamonds encased on gold. We just make a slight hole, a nice opening on the diamond, so we let the light go through, and it gives you the maximum exposure to brilliance and light. Those are made in the nicest and hot metal of the season, which is yellow gold.
And when we talk about lab-grown diamonds, it's really important to emphasize these are real diamonds, and they're such a high quality here at Ben Moss.
Yes, in fact, lab-grown diamonds are real diamonds. The only difference with natural diamonds is the way that they are sourced. So you can have the highest quality, the color, the cut, the design, and a very affordable price.
And that goes for a special question or a special type of ring. And you've got tons of options there as well.
Absolutely. And if you want to pop the question this Christmas, we have lots of engagement rings in lab-grown diamonds and natural diamonds.
You can all find it here at Ben Moss. Happy early holidays.
Yeah, and you get a nice sparkle and shine on that rock, at least this morning while the sky is clear and the sun is out. It's incredibly mild, well above seasonal, sitting at +2. But it comes with a breeze out of the southwest, 24 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 82%. A clear start to the day. It may not stay that way all through southern Manitoba. That might be the case for now, but you can see the precipitation starting to show up. And through central Manitoba, there's a lot more of it. It just doesn't quite read once we're moving in through central and northern Manitoba, but it will be quite active. Here, yeah, it's going to be active as well. We're going to see some bizarre things happening with the temperature, rising to about 4 degrees and then falling through the afternoon. That's because the winds will be shifting from the southwest out of the northwest, driving the temperatures down, changing showers back to flurries. More snow coming tomorrow, and that one's going to cause you to get the shovels out. Up to 20 centimeters by the time it's all said and done, and that'll continue through the day and into the overnight hours Thursday. But by Thursday, we're looking at the sky clearing out, but we will also see those temperatures dropping off a little bit. Sunshine back for the weekend, but we could have another round of snow by the end of the week on Friday. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, before we wrap up, we're going to show you some fun video. Time for a feline that's always looking for fun. Check out this cool cat. Theo the Chonk was classified as a house cat at the shelter, but they didn't specify which kind. His owners found out that he loves house music and dancing up a storm. He's really a party animal. Look at him go. He's so sweet. Swinging his little arms around.
Some things I can't believe make it to air.
Well, thousands of festive runners dressed up as Santa Claus for a good cause in Kosovo. People of all ages joined in to raise money for local hospitals and charities helping people living in poverty. It was also meant to be a family event, so everyone was on the move for a great cause.
Okay, that's cute.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
And in Bolivia, pet owners hit the streets in La Paz for a special Christmas parade.
Oh my goodness.
Look at that dog. It's a dog parade. Both the animals and their owners turned out in costume to celebrate the season. The parade was also an opportunity for people to stop and get their pets vaccinated, since it was also a requirement to participate.
Like, more of this anytime if you're, a cloud. Like, I love it.
So creative. Look at them go.
I could watch that all day long.
Me too. It's wonderful. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.